Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to follow and leave a 5-star rating. Folks, I want to apologize ahead of time for my voice quality. I've been battling the flu over the weekend and still in the recovery phase. But we have huge updates around the Clarity Act that you need to know about. So I want to make this quick update for you. Let's jump into it. Okay, the latest update on the Clarity Act timeline is a new Clarity Act draft has been released, merging the Senate Banking and Agriculture Committee versions and adding an ethics provision for the first time. A motion to proceed is expected Monday or Tuesday with a possible floor vote the week of August 3rd. So no votes this week, folks. It will likely happen next week, which puts us against the timeline because August 7th is that hard cutoff date before the August recess where the members of the House and Senate both go away. However, we have a very interesting update from President Trump. He's calling on Senator Thune to cancel the August recess for the Senate until they pass the Save America Act. Now, it will also benefit the Clarity Act because if there's no August recess, they will have the time to vote on not only the Save America Act, but the Clarity Act. This is a very interesting development. I don't know if it will actually be done, but James Murphy, Meta Lawman, I've had him on the podcast many times over the year, says the president has the legal authority to cancel the Senate recess. The president has the constitutional authority to call an extraordinary session of the Senate to vote on the Save America Act and the Clarity Act. The authority is found in Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, which provides the president may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both the houses or either of them. In 1989, the Office of Legal Counsel of the Department of Justice issued a legal opinion confirming this point. So, could this be on the table? It seems like it because President Trump is talking about it and he has the legal authority to do it. So, this could certainly play out if they don't get these things done. I'm sure many of them want to have that break, so they most likely will get it done. But guys, the Clarity Act, this updated version, is getting the support from major financial institutions on Wall Street, which includes BlackRock, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, and of course, Grayscale. So the big players are coming out saying, pass this bill now. And here, Patrick Witt, he retweeted some news around that saying the largest asset manager in the world just endorsed the Clarity Act and you're backpedaling. So he's talking about the Democrats, right? Because the ethics language has been put into the bill, but the Democrats are making it a lot about Trump when it should be about America and creating jobs and innovation. And the Clarity Act helps to protect consumers while fostering innovation. Right now, the industry is unregulated with the exception of stablecoins because the Genius Act was passed last year for stablecoins. But the Democrats know this, but they're playing the nasty political game, which really sucks, right? And look, Republicans do it too. So the fact that they're doing this is really annoying. And we're going to talk a bit more about it because the usual suspects are starting to show up. But let me highlight some of the things the folks on Wall Street are saying. So Franklin Templeton, they put out a message today saying, Franklin Templeton supports the passage of the Clarity Act. The bill would make clear how crypto is regulated. Investors would know what predictions apply. Firms would know which regulators they answer to. It's time to provide the industry the clarity it needs. Fidelity posted the following. Fidelity urges the Senate passage of the Clarity Act. The time is now for clear rules of the road that are essential to strengthening investor confidence, providing certainty for market participants, and reinforcing U.S. leadership in global digital asset markets. And not only is it Wall Street firms, here the National Fraternal Order of Police officially endorses the amended Clarity Act. So law enforcement agencies are backing this bill. This puts the Democrats in a very bad spot because you have law enforcement backing it plus the major Wall Street firms. And, I tweeted out today about this where I said the Clarity Act is going to pass. Major Wall Street firms are backing the updated bill, and when they want something, they usually get it. Not to mention, lawmakers who continue to oppose the bill and crypto more broadly could face significant political consequences in this year's midterm elections, a la the 2024 elections. Remember, the people who are anti-crypto got their asses handed to them. And if they do that this year, in an election year, the crypto industry is ready to deploy the war chest. So They're playing with fire here, and I think they better get this bill passed and not make it all about Trump. I've been on record from day one. I don't like the Trump meme coin. I don't like the Melania meme coin. No public official should have that. But this bill does include ethics. So moving forward, it prevents that. Let's get it done versus looking backwards with what's already done with Trump, right? Let's move forward and make sure these things are in place. And there is a larger ethics issue. It's not a crypto specific thing. Trump and these folks and members of Congress are invested in stocks, right? Let's be clear. So this is not a crypto specific item. But folks, the Democrats and their usual suspects are showing up. We got Ben McKenzie, Ryan from the OC. He's back talking about crypto is bad and they shouldn't pass this bill. And it's you cannot be against Trump's crypto corruption and then vote for a bill that enables that corruption to continue. That's such a lie. How could it allow the corruption to continue if there's ethics in place, right? It's such a big lie. But this guy is a paid actor, both in Hollywood and in politics. I believe he's on Elizabeth Warren's payroll. I could be wrong, but I believe he's on there because since the Biden administration, he was showing up to these hearings all of a sudden, like, where did this guy come from? And you can tell he was buddies with Elizabeth Warren. So he is certainly a crony of Elizabeth Warren. Here's another usual suspect as it relates to anti-crypto. New York Attorney General Letitia James just demanded Congress to block the Clarity Act. Of course she did. She claims it would neuter state and local law enforcement. Really? Really? Come on. This is so dumb. But again, we saw these actors do the same thing under Elizabeth Warren and Biden, along with Gary Gensler. So we know why all of a sudden you're seeing this coordinated effort. We know what the game is, right? And I'm sure Letitia James would love to bring some sort of charge against President Trump with the meme coin. And again, I'm not a fan of it, but we got to move forward. We got to get America in the leadership. We got to create jobs and all these things. That's the bigger fish to fry here. That's the bigger picture we have to look at. But they're trying to make it political, of course, and it's nasty work. We know politics is nasty here. So hopefully they can get this thing done next week. I do believe they're going to get it done. Again, the reasons I cited earlier, Wall Street firms, many of the people who donate to campaigns, right? They want this pass. So you go against that. Not to mention the crypto industry has that war chest ready. You're going to get your asses handed to you if you do that. So right now in Poly Market, the odds are down to 38%, but we've seen this fluctuate. But we got to, of course, mention it. But I wouldn't bet on Poly Market right now. There's been too many fluctuations around it. But I'm looking at the big players who are saying pass this: BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, and others. So if they don't get it done, again, they're going to feel it in the elections. All right, folks, quick word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by FortisX. Guys, let's be honest, the crypto market has been moving sideways for a while now. A lot of people are just sitting on their coins, waiting for the next big move. But while you're waiting, your crypto is just sitting in your wallet doing absolutely nothing. That's why I want to mention one of my longtime partners, FortisX. Instead of just letting your assets sit idle, you can put supported cryptocurrencies into FortisX liquidity pools and earn daily rewards while still keeping the flexibility to withdraw whenever you want. One of the reasons I've continued working with them is because they keep delivering. The team is public. They've successfully completed Cyberscope team verification, KYC, passed independent security audits, and the platform has been building consistently for years. They've focused on long-term growth, transparency, and security rather than hype. In a market like this, it makes far more sense to have your crypto working for you instead of letting it sit idle in your wallet. I've worked with FortisX for a long time, and if you're planning to hold your crypto anyway, I genuinely think it's one of the smartest ways to put those assets to work. And folks, I know security is very important to all of us as we hold our crypto assets, and they are fully audited by CertiK, and they are SEC registered and much more. So you got to check out FortisX. Go to fortisx.fi/x/thinkingcrypto. Link will be in the description.
All right, moving ahead, Securitize Capital becomes an SEC registered investment advisor. So the registration expands Securitize regulated platform for tokenized assets, adding investment advisory services to its institutional offering. Many of you know Securitize is the firm that helped BlackRock to launch their tokenized fund, and they are leading the charge with building that infrastructure, helping other institutions. They just went public recently on the New York Stock Exchange via a SPAC merger, and they continue to build and expand. So it's great to see that when it comes to tokenized assets and institutions, they're setting themselves up to handle the different requests and needs from these institutions. So Securitize Capital, a subsidiary of tokenized asset platform Securitize, has registered with the SEC as an investment advisor, allowing the company to expand its regulated investment advisory business for institutional clients, Securitize said Monday. The registration adds investment advisory capabilities to Securitize existing regulated businesses, which include an SEC-registered broker-dealer, alternative trading system, transfer agent, and fund administration services. All right, moving ahead, Sam Altman's WorldCoin or World Network secures $52.5 million in fresh funding to fight online AI deepfakes. Now, we've talked a lot about WorldCoin over the years, folks, and I like the mission they have, but the way they're going about it is draconian. I've often talked about they're going to places where people would love to get easy money because due to their financial situation where maybe they're in a poor economy, poor country and so forth, and WorldCoin's kind of taking advantage, right? Because they then scan those people's retina, they have their biometrics, so to speak, and they get some WorldCoin. I think that's a bit draconian, especially the retina scan, right, folks? And I've often stated, who's auditing this thing? What are they doing with that data? Right? That's very important. If there was a third party auditor or they're working with the government to say, hey, this data is secure, it's not being used in a nefarious way, I would be more open, to what they're doing. But they continue to raise capital here, and it looks like they're trying to fight AI deepfakes. Let's see how far that goes. There are other blockchain projects working with news networks and much more to solve this issue. But the capital injection was led by Pantera Capital alongside Bain Capital, Crypto, and 8Co Holdings, and will be deployed to integrate identity technology across enterprise platforms and AI agents. So the World Network raised $135 million in its first funding round in May of last year in a private token sale of the WorldCoin WLD token to venture capital giants A16Z and Bain Capital Crypto. Now, folks, this coin could do well. A lot of VCs backing it. AI is a huge narrative. So up to you if you want to take a bet. I personally don't hold it in my portfolio. And again, I don't like the way they're going about it. But, my feelings is not what dictates markets. So I'm just letting you, I'm being transparent, right? I'm in my feelings a little bit here because of my own personal beliefs. But if you don't care about this and you want to invest, it could certainly do well. Here's a quote: "The need of proof of human is becoming acutely clear with the acceleration of AI development, and we see this in the influx of enterprise traction," said Cosmo Jiang, Pantera Capital general partner, in a statement. So if you hold the WLD tokens, let me know, guys. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Now, the bear market is taking its toll, and usually at the bottom of every bear market, you start to see a lot of bankruptcies and collapses. Many of you may recall FTX, and there have been others throughout the years, and we're starting to see that. Now, they're not as cataclysmic as what we saw back in 2022, because that was such a really bad situation with Gary Gensler, and they were allowing a lot of the bad activity to happen. I think they were trying to let the industry die on its own because of letting bad actors do their thing, like Sam Bankman-Fried, Celsius with Alex Mashinsky, and others. So here we got news that institutional crypto trading platform LMAX is exploring a sale or possibly an IPO. It looks like they're in a little bit of a trouble here. They're working with Morgan Stanley and investment bank KBW to assess their options. But at least they're not going bankrupt, because we're seeing bankruptcy notices from Bitmart. Bitmart is closing down. I've never used them. You got Storage Labs. They have filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the fourth crypto company in 7 days to announce a failure or wind down. You got BitMEX, says they are shutting down their operations. Many of you know this was started by Arthur Hayes and was the first to do crypto perpetuals, if I'm not mistaken. And now they're shutting their doors. But guys, this is what happens usually in a business cycle when you get into a bear market. you have companies that go out of business. So it's not unusual because this happens in every industry. And many of you know I've talked a lot about this over the years that with TradFi institutions coming in and launching crypto products, ETFs, and different investment vehicles and products, guess what? They're going to steal market share from these crypto exchanges. So if these crypto exchanges didn't up their game, they would lose out and they would go out of business. I've said that many times, especially that these TradFi institutions, they have the brand name, they have the trust already established, right? And they have the customer base. They simply had to just push the product out, right? You just look at Charles Schwab and all these guys coming in, they've got millions of customers and they just have to say, hey, look, you already invest with us, to get your stocks, your ETFs, your bonds. Here's the crypto for you and we'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about it. We'll give you your statements. Here's the white glove service, yada, yada, right? So we're starting to see that play out here. And these crypto exchanges and so forth, some of them are on the smaller side. They're not the level of Binance or Coinbase. They're starting to lose out. And again, and I'm not cheerleading this. I'm not happy about it or celebrating this. I'm just saying this is part of the business cycle. It's a natural, healthy thing that happens. Unfortunately, people lose their jobs and so forth. But again, this is the nature of business. All right, moving ahead, Brazilian farmers tokenize dairy cows to get loans, bypassing bank lending limits. This is a microcosm of the future of the token economy, folks, with tokenized assets and DeFi. So amazing to see how it's happening across the globe. Farmers in Parana, Brazil, struggling to get banks to loan them cash, become the first to tokenize livestock and place 10 dairy milk cows tokens for trade on the country's B3 National Stock Exchange. They generated nearly $20,000 in credit backed by their cattle, signaling the potential of tokenizing RWAs as a financing tool. The dairy cow tokenization in Brazil is a world first and serves as a test in a real-world scenario in which farmers are facing increasingly stringent lending limits imposed by local banks on small agriculture businesses. Again, folks, this is a microcosm of what's coming. A lot of different assets that were not financialized before can be financialized, opening up new opportunities. Obviously, you have to make sure there is a third party auditing all of these things. Well, do they indeed have the livestock they say they have, that they're tokenizing, right? So there needs to be that auditing process. That's where I think banks and TradFi institutions will help facilitate that, because you're going to have the custodian, you're going to have the auditor to check in, okay, they have the 10 cows they tokenize. Is it actually 7 or 5, right? Versus the 10. So this is where these infrastructure items are going to have to be set up. But clearly, this is the path forward. And they're going to do it with real estate and other assets and eventually individuals. So let's say you have some rare collectibles, a Michael Jordan rookie card, the first Superman comic, you know what I mean, things like that, the first Spider-Man comic, whatever it may be, that you want to tokenize that. Well, you have to take it to a trusted institution and with it connected to an auditor and a custodian. They help you to tokenize it, and then you can put that thing on the market and start putting it to work. Obviously, these firms are going to take their cut as far as fees, but you can put that asset to work versus it's just sitting in your safe or it's sitting in your office or whatever it may be. And I'm speaking from experience. I have some rare comics right behind me, for those of you watching in the video, that are graded. So could I do something like this eventually? Absolutely, right? And put those assets to work. So again, this is a microcosm of what's to come. Now, this is some interesting news. Mirae plans to turn crypto exchange Korbit into something Korea hasn't seen before. The South Korean financial giant says its Korbit, soon to be rebranded as Digital X, is just a starting point for a broader ecosystem that connects RWA, stablecoins, and digital assets. So these financial institutions, we're seeing a lot actually in Japan, are now integrating with crypto exchanges, acquiring them, and looking to build a massive infrastructure company and provide infrastructure services. So here are the details. Mirae Asset has acquired Korbit, and it plans for the exchange to go just beyond capturing Korean market share. It wants to build an intelligent investment platform. We plan to strengthen investor education and research capabilities and develop Digital X into an intelligent investment platform where knowledge, information, and in-depth investment insights are organically connected. Mirae rebranded Korbit as Digital X as part of its broader vision for the exchange X here represents an uncharted future and a limitless possibilities created when different forms of value intersect and converge, the firm said. So, guys, I hope you see the infrastructure that's being built across the globe. Crypto is a global asset class. Blockchain runs 24/7 across the globe. So, we're seeing incredible adoption. All right, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think, especially about the Clarity Act news. And it could be a very, very interesting week next week. Remember, they're looking to pass this thing on the week of August 3rd. And if that doesn't happen, could President Trump cancel the August recess? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't as yet. Please support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And if you want to expand your knowledge about crypto and blockchain tech, check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. It's a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.